Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 250. The album that I'll be reviewing tonight is Gravediggaz with their second album, The Pick, The Sickle, and The Shovel, released in 1997. This album came out 3 years after the masterpiece of an album, 6 Feet Deep, which I did a review on a couple days ago. So definitely check that out. If you guys haven't peeped that, definitely check it out. Shout out to everybody that showed love, showed comments. I love that. Definitely inspired me to do more reviews, so they're definitely coming. I'm trying to be more consistent, but you know, with work and all that stuff and life in general, it's kind of hard to do that sometimes, but I definitely try to deliver, but make sure the content is worth the wait, that kind of thing, but try to be more consistent as best as I can. So anyways, getting back to this album. So right after 6 Feet Deep, or also known as Nigga Mortis, which I'm gonna be real with you, I'm kind of glad they kept the name 6 Feet Deep here in the States, just because it holds more weight in my opinion. It has like more deeper meaning, and plus like I don't think people would take the album seriously with the name Nigga Mortis, even though it's dope, it's a dope title, and you know satire purposes, but still. I don't think people will take the album serious, you know, just because of that name, and that kind of thing. I would love to get a copy of that album, but it's out of print and it's like mad expensive. Good for like $50 and up. So, you know, if I say for a decent price, yeah, I'll buy it. But I'm pretty much good with this version. You know what I mean? Because I'm just missing one song, and that's "Pass the Shovel," which I believe you could get on the that Hip Hop Gold Dust compilation now that Prince Paul put out in 2005. I believe you could get it from that compilation. I could be wrong about that, but anyways, so right after the release of the album, Prince Paul was pretty busy. RZA was busy as well. So in '95, the group themselves, they had put out 2 EPs. One was called the Hell EP, with Tricky. It was a collab EP they did with Tricky, the lead singer of Massive Attack. Dope trip hop group, love them, so underrated, dope. I believe I have their first 3 albums, and their 90s stuff is so fucking dope. Love that shit. Yeah, so they did a collab EP with them, and they put out an EP called the 6 Feet Deep EP, which is pretty much songs from the album, like remixes, like 1-800-Suicide, Bang Your Head, almost a Gravedigger, like a couple of remixes of those and things like that. So definitely worth copying if you could find it. You know what I mean? I can imagine that being hard to find. And you know, RZA, you know, he's busy working on, you know, classic solo debut albums like Raekwon, Cuban Links, The Purple Tape that everybody loves, and Enamor, myself included. Working on those albums. Liquid Swords, obviously. Ghostface's Iron Man album, which I think is a very slept on album. Love that. That to me is Ghostface's best album, in my personal opinion. And then, you know, unfortunately around that time, you know, he suffered through the 2 floods, you know what I mean? And because Inspector Deck was supposed to come out with an album, The Uncontrolled Substance, around I think like '97. He was supposed to come out with that album, but with, you know, the flooded, the album got lost and that kind of thing. So they tried to retrieve from the floppy disks for the ASR-10, but they couldn't get it, you know. So it was unfortunate. And then so you know, RZA was busy with those. Prince Paul himself, he was working on production on excuse me, on a jazz musician. His name was Vernon Reid of Living Color. He put out his solo debut album called Mistaken Identity. They came out in '96. So it's like a mixture of like hip hop. It's like fusion, hip hop, jazz fusion, instrumental rock. You know, Prince Paul had some production on that too. So he was working on that. Also, he had dropped his debut album, Psychoanalysis, What Is It, that came out in '96, which is kind of hard to find, and quite underrated. You know, a lot of people don't really know about that album. They probably heard of it, but they didn't really heard it, you know what I mean, because it was kind of like under the radar, because there's 2 versions of the album. There's one that came out in '96, and then Tommy Boy Records had re-released the album again in '97, but with different songs and, you know, slight different track listing. Which matter of fact, I'll show you guys right now. I'll actually give me 1 second. Hold on. Just had it too. Alright, so let me take this off the tripod. As you can see, that's the 97 reissue, and that's the original pressing. So yeah, so I definitely want to get that, you know, definitely have to get that stuff. Cause, you know, most people know Prince Paul, you know, as far as his solo stuff. Oh shit. Sorry about that. Cause most people know Prince Paul for his Honor Amongst Thieves from '99, which is a classic, dope concept album. And people know him about the Handsome Boy Model projects that he put out. That's what people know him for, but they don't really know about psychoanalysis as well. So it's kind of unfortunate, you know. But I think that one was a little bit too, it was a little too out there for people. It was a very experimental, so it's not for everybody. So I get it, you know what I mean. But I definitely, guys, should definitely check it out. It's been a while since I heard it. I gotta revisit, you know what I mean. So also too, he was working with a group called Horror City. They were based out of Amityville, where he's from his hood. They were pretty much like another, like pretty much long. I won't say long. Yeah, I guess like the Long Island version of Gravediggaz. Pretty much, it's pretty much like same style and that kind of thing. They came out with an EP. I think like back in 2010. So definitely check that out. It's on YouTube. You check it out. It's pretty dope. So you'll hear like mid-90s Prince Paul, like dark production and things like that. So, and then 1997, this album came about, alright? So you guys know, as you can tell, you know, no strangers to you guys. So as you can see, that's Poetic, rest in peace, Grim Reaper, Resurrector, Reza, Fuquan, and Prince Paul, The Undertaker, Gatekeeper, Resurrector, Grim Reaper, Undertaker, alright? There are 2 singles of the album. The singles are Dangerous Minds and The Night the Earth Cried, which actually, that song, The Night the Earth Cried, was my introduction to Gravediggaz. I didn't know about Gravediggaz before, but the first song I heard from them was The Night the Earth Cried. So, and that song is dope. Love that song. So, yeah, so just get on with it. So, this is what the album looks like. You can see right here. Pretty cool, you know what I mean? Has like a more mystical look to them. Pretty cool. In the back, you see the RZA with the infamous claws. Pretty dope. That's what the C looks like. Pretty cool. Alright. As you see, that's what that looks like. In the back, in the inlay. Put this back. Take the booklet out. As you see, Gatekeeper right here chilling. Oh, that's pretty cool. They got Prince Paul, The Undertaker. Oh shit. And then you got the Abbot, Resurrector. And last but not least, the Grim Reaper, Poetic. Rest in peace to that man. Such an unfortunate death, man, that he died from, man. And then it's pretty cool. And then you open it up. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. It's like some sorcerer shit, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool. Alright, and the track listing is like all over, so it's like I have to flip it around. Alright, so let's see. Oh my god. Alright, so production. Let me see something. Alright, let's look at the producers of the album. Producers of the album, RZA, obviously. Let's see who else. RZA. Let's see. Fourth Disciple of Killer Army fame. True Master does some production on here. Poetic himself does some production. Let's see. Dark Him Be Allah, but isn't It's Dark Him on here. Another dope producer. He's so underrated, man. Let's see who else. Goldfingers, dope producer as well. Goldfingers again. True Master. Let's see. What the hell? Okay, there we go. Alright. Fourth Disciple once again, like I said before. Poetic. Mentioned before. Poetic again. True Master. RZA does some production on here. Fuquan. And Prince Paul. That's it. Those are the producers of the album. Alright. Features on the album. Features are, it's very minimal. It's Shabazz the Disciple. It is a guy named Omen and the Alim Brothers. Sons of Man makes an appearance on here. Killer Priest. And Knife Prince of Killer Army fame. Alright. Oh, and then it doesn't say, but Khalees and Blue Raspberry is featured on this album as well. They do like the hooks and things like that on one of the songs, alright? So, you know how I get down. I'm gonna go do some of the tracks like I usually do, break them down like I usually do, and then let's just get on with it, alright? The first track, the intro, pretty dope way to start the album. It's just pretty much you know, RZA, you know, they doing the Gravediggaz, they're doing a radio interview, and then the beat in the background is so fucking dope. But they wasted such a good beat, man. I love that beat. I wish it was longer. But on YouTube, there's actually a version that somebody pretty much kind of copy and pasted to make it longer. It's dope. I post that down in the description box. I had to download that because that shit was so dope. So I had to get that. But yeah, track one, the intro, like I said, it's just you know, them talking about the meaning of the name and things like that. And that was produced by RZA, so that was pretty dope. Track 2, Dangerous Minds. I believe that was the first single of the album. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that was that was the second single of the album. No, first one. I'm sorry, the first single. Sorry. Dope song, very laid back beat. That was produced by Fourth Disciple. I love the line by Poetic when he says, "You hear the laughter seconds after you fade out. You played out, you laid out, your heart nearly gave out. You're lucky that you made out with just a few scars. When the beating ends, the streets let you breathe again. But evil men will soon be on a revisiting end of a universal law, and calling on the meek and the poor to fight back and never forfeit the day you have to go to war." Fucking dope. He killed that shit. I've always felt like, you know, Poetic was like the lyricist of the group. He was like the strong lyricist of the group, in my personal opinion. And then I would say like RZA would be like the second. I don't know, because Fuquan be coming with some shit too, but I think out of the group, I think Poetic to me was the best one lyrically, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Especially with his delivery, his voice, and things of that nature, man. I wish he was still alive, because that dude was, he was the dude, man. He was that guy, you know what I'm saying? So that was track 2, Dangerous Minds. Track 3, The Bomb. That was produced by True Master. That was an okay track. I could have done without that. That was okay. It was kind of underwhelming beef by True Master. I feel like it could have been better, because I love True Master. I feel like it could have been better. So I didn't write any lyrics for that one. Track 4, Unexplained. That was produced by Poetic. That was a cool track. You know, I didn't really get anything out of it, but it's cool. Cool track. Track 5, 12 Jewels. That was produced by Darkim BLI. Another dope producer, underrated producer. That was actually a RZA solo track. I like the line by RZA when he says, "One swerve to the tongue, it pierces like a sword through the lung. Have you ever not heard the word kill at first as bullets when you load negative thoughts to the chamber of your brain and your mouth pulls the trigger that propels the wickedness straight from hell, from the pits of your stomach where negativity dwell." Fucking dope. That was dope. So that was track 5. 12 Jewels. Dope shit right there. Track 6, Fairy Tales, that was produced by Goldfingers. That features Khalees. Yes, Khalees, the bitch, Nas's ex-wife. Oh God, yeah. See, this is like one of her first appearances on Wax. I think it is one of. I think it is. But anyways, dope track. In this song, they talk about 3 different fairy tales, like, you know, the 3 little pigs, like Goldilocks and things like that. I'm just giving examples, but they use them in a criminal setting, if that makes sense. It's pretty dope. It's a pretty dope concept. Like where you know, they use the, like, so Fuquan, he uses the 3 little pigs analogy, and Jack and Jill. Poetic uses the rich man, poor man, and yeah, that was pretty much it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, that shit is dope. It's a dope concept right there. One of the best tracks of the album, in my opinion. Track 7, Never Come Back. That was produced by Goldfingers. Dope producer. I believe he was on the Pillars album. He did some production on that album, The Pillars by Capadonna. Another slept on album too. I gotta do a review on that one day. But in this track right here, it's a pretty deep track. This is about their ex-girlfriends that's passed away in the past, and then they explain like how they, you know, feel about that. So it's a pretty deep track. I like the line by Poetic when he says, "I saw the woman I love covered in blood, war is hell. I cut shells." No, I'm sorry. I saw the woman I love colored in blood. That's deep. War is hell. I cut shells, weighed and covered in mud. As 4 ships hovered above, my heart grieves, but at least she didn't take mark of the beast. Yeah, that's fucking deep right there, man. Yeah, that was a dope track. Definitely a dope track right there. So that was track 7, Never Gonna Come Back, and that was produced by Goldfingers. Track 8, Pit of Snakes, one of my favorite tracks of the album. That was produced by RZA and True Master. Dope track. I do like the line by Poetic, of course. That dude's a beast, man. As Zoo Nerves endings record the pain, I cut like the Wu-Tang sword hitting the vein. The main issue for invasion of your brain tissue is your dismissal, nigga. I ranged official. I lack fear of a black bear. Slash your chest area open and have the whole world soaking with your hemoglobin. Fucking dope. That was dope right there. So that was track 8, Pit of Snakes. Dope shit. That should have been a single too. Track 9, The Night the Earth Cried. Probably the most famous single off this album that people know them for. And like I said, it was my introduction to Gravediggaz. Dope video too. Yeah, dope shit right there. So I was wrong. So Dangerous Minds was the first single. The night the earth died, the earth cried was the second and final single of the album. Like I said, a dope track right there. In this song, they use a lot of 5% rhetoric, because, you know, they're 5%ers and that kind of thing. So pretty dope joint right there. Track 10, Elimination Process. It's a dope posse cut. It features Shabazz the Disciple, Omen, and the Aline Brothers. Dope track right there. I didn't really write any lyrics for that one, but that was a pretty dope track right there. Track 11, Repentance Day, featuring Hellraiser of Sons of Man, and Killer Priest. Dope track right there. I like the line by Killer Priest when he says, "Sky misty, often tipsy from off the whiskey. The gypsy told me my changes were risky. Cops pull up and frisk me, but never could they get me. Too skippy, I will go into my dungeon and summon up the second coming. People started running. Aliens with hair like Rastafarians." Dope shit right there. Yeah, that's a dope track. One of my favorite tracks of the album, Repentance Day. Track 12 is Hidden Emotions. So this is like one of the only songs that Prince Paul produced. He just produced, there was like a beginning, there was a beat in the beginning, and it fades to a different beat. So the first beat was produced by Prince Paul, but there was no rapping. It was like talking over the beat, and then it fades into the next beat that True Master did. So, I kind of wish the first beat to me was better than the True Master beat, and I'm sad to say that because True Master is like one of my favorite producers. You know what I mean? But I just feel like some of the production on here was by True Master was a little underwhelming. You know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is. But it was a cool track. I like that. The Hidden Emotion is pretty cool. Track 13, What's Going On? That was produced by RZA. It features Knife Prince of Killer Army, which in my opinion, I've always felt like he was like the weakest member of the group. I just never liked his delivery. He just sounds very offbeat. It to me, he doesn't fit the group at all. This is my personal opinion. Like he just doesn't ride the beat very well. So, but he does have good ear for beats. So, I do give him that. But in this track, you know, they talk about, you know, the 1% that, you know, everybody loves to talk about. You know, the 1%, you know, pretty much running the world. You know, like the New World Order. You talk about the government, corruption, you know, things of that nature. Nothing too new, but for that time, yes, it was new. But now, everybody and their mom is talking about that. So, especially with the 1%. So, that's what I got from that track. It's a dope track right there. Track 14, Deadliest Biz, produced by Holocron. This was actually my favorite track. Love the beat for that shit. I like the line by Holocron when he says, "Carry out the death sentence with deadly vengeance. What I'm seeking is your head on the skillet, soaking in burgundy liquid. Self-inflicted wounds fill up pounds in Grant Tomb. More damage than a monsoon. Niggas explode like aquatic moons." Fucking dope. Love that shit. Kill that shit. Yeah. That's actually my favorite track of the album. And then the last track, 15, the outro. This is the outro, dope beat by Prince Paul. Again, I feel like they wasted a good beat. I feel like they could have at least 2 verses or something. Overall, this is a decent album. Again, I feel like Poetic fucking delivered on this album. He did his thing on this album. And, you know, he definitely delivered. A lot more mature compared to the first album. This is like more mature, subject matter wise. I mean, some of the, the gory lyrics is there, but it's more tame compared to the first album. I feel like the production was a little underwhelming, you know what I mean? Because I feel like the beats could have been a little bit better, you know? That's just my personal opinion. I know some people say that, you know, Gravediggaz is like a Wu affiliate group. I would say, you know, during the 6 Feet Deep era, no. I would say around this time, yes, because of the production, and not to mention that RZA was the executive producer of the album, so that definitely explains why the production sounded the way they did. So, you know, Prince Paul at that time, he was going through his little depression and things like that with the industry, and one of the personal things I'm pretty sure he was going through at the time. But yeah, this is a pretty cool album. Not my favorite, but it's cool. I know a lot of people, they actually prefer this album over 6 Feet Deep. You know, to his own, but, you know, I could respect it, you know what I mean? But I'm a 6 Feet Deep kind of guy, you know, that's just me personally. You know, it is out of print, but I'm pretty sure you can get it for a decent price. Shouldn't be too expensive. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Gravediggaz, the Pick, the Sickle, and the Shovel, released in 1997. Alright? That's it, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely stay tuned for more videos, alright? Peace!